Money talk.
He's going.
He's going. Money talk. That being said, we got Karrion Kross added versus Sami Zayn. What are you guys' thoughts on here? Karrion Kross actually making a card and actually getting a fight here. Jay, what are your thoughts?
I'm interested to see if Karrion's pop extends to international territory, because we see him in just TV spots right now on Raw, and you could hear it, huge pops from behind the scenes. I'm interested to see what he can do internationally. Do we have a star in the making? We'll see. As we know, the fans make stars and break stars, so this is a true test for Karrion.
Joey.
Now I like this for him because, like Jay said, he gets huge pops even on main event. He does matches on the main event scene in those shows, and he gets huge reactions. So let's see what he could do on international.
TK.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, how they react to Karrion. I'm also interested to see how the match goes. Like I said earlier, I think it might be more of an angle than a match. Karrion, he was happy. Sammy kind of flipped on him on Raw last night. He kind of got what he wanted, and I think he's really, for the time that was given to him, because he hasn't had much, but he's getting more. He's really making the most of it. So I do want to see how the crowd reacts, like you guys said, internationally. See if this carries over, but more for the future. I think this should just help build him up, because when he was in NXT and Triple H was in charge, he was one of Triple H's guys. He was champion. So I want to see kind of how they build him up through the rest of the summer here, and this is kind of the first stepping stone to that, to see if he can be more elevated.
I just hope it's not predictable that Sammy's going to turn heel, because I'd love to see a Sammy face championship run, and I just hope because of and I think I've spoke to you guys about this before, it seems like anyone that Karrion Kross interacts goes heel within a couple of weeks or months. I just hope Sammy's not the latest victim, and we flip it that he doesn't go heel, and they actually have a feud from it. That's all I hope. So we're going to pick a winner here. I guess it's Karrion go over, or it's Sammy to get the home crowd pop.
Well, that's a good question. I would pick. Oh, you guys.
No, go ahead,
TK.
Oh, you gonna go Karrion? Joey goes Karrion.
I'm gonna go Karrion.
I actually go with Sammy on this one. I think Sammy does get the hometown pop, but whatever happens, I think it's more of like a DQ type thing. I don't think it's a pinfall or submission, but technically Sammy will get the win via DQ.
Yeah, I'm going to go with some sort of no contest of some sort, whether it be the DQ or somebody else gets involved. I don't think this match ends with either men winning.
Same here. I go Sammy. I think Sammy gets the home crowd pop. I think they definitely got him there. We have a street fight, Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. I'm going to go out and say it. With this storyline, I could definitely see Roxanne stepping in as the new tag champ. And then when Liv comes back, Liv's going to be upset about it, and that's going to cause a whole drama within them again. That's how I see that. I don't know if Raquel can go over on Rhea. If she does, I think Roxanne steps in to help.
I got the same thing. I think you're gonna see, like you said, with that triangle with Roxanne, Raquel, and Liv, Dom's gonna be in that too.
Again, so we're gonna do it again with Dom again.
I think we're gonna do it. He might. You never know. He might. But he's gonna be involved because they kind of was teasing it a little bit when she went in to do that movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, look for that too. So,
wait, you saying Saturday Dom's gonna get involved? Because remember,
no, not Saturday. I'm talking about eventually.
Eventually.
Eventually. But Saturday, I think Roxanne, it could go either way. But definitely, if Raquel gets to win, is because Roxanne helped her.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood Jay, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think it's obvious. I think it's so obvious that I'm actually going to go with Rhea. I think it's a little too obvious.
Yeah, I got Rhea too, but I think if they go with Raquel, it's because Roxanne.
TK.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to root against Rhea Ripley. She's the woman, Superman. Like they always, kind of have her go over at the end, beat the odds. But she didn't win a WrestleMania. Io won, and I feel like, with the way everything's been going, if Dom dates you and then you get injured, you come back a face. They might be doing the same thing with Liv. She might come back a face, and then he's going to be dating someone else. So I can see them trying to build up, Roxanne and Raquel for that. So if they both come in, if it's two-headed monster and they outnumber Rhea, I think that's a good indication that Raquel could win and go over and get a victory over Rhea Ripley, something that they could build off of towards SummerSlam.
Yep.
We have the United States Championship. Don't let me dog walk your ass. Come on with it, Jacob Fatu. You know what I mean? My guy Jacob Fatu versus Solo. Are we getting tired of the Samoans fighting each other? Are we over that yet, or is there more to tell with more bloodline as far as like now? Now we have Jacob versus Solo. How many more matches of the Samoans can we get in one given WWE season? Are we tired of it or no? Are we like intrigued with more development of the bloodline?
I don't think we're tired of it. I think this is a little more interesting because of, the way it happened. Solo did bring in Jacob. He kind of like, it looked like, the storyline, like he groomed him.
Yeah.
But then, like Jacob ends up outshining him and being that alpha dog. You know what I mean? And now you see that Solo's jealous and, they had the backstage segment and then Jacob turned on him. So I think it's a little more different than the other storylines. I got Jacob winning. I'm sorry. I all gas, no brakes.
TK, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree almost completely. I got Jacob winning as well. He just has such a presence and a charisma that really you can't teach. And Solo, I like Solo, but the problem with Solo is he's too good at comedy. So I feel like when you're too good at comedy, they give you that comedy role eventually. Yeah. So, Jacob's kind of the future. Solo will always be around. He's Rikishi's son, but I don't see him beating Jacob Fatu. I think this is all to elevate Jacob Fatu. And we'll see where the bloodline goes from here. I think you could always tell more stories. I mean, they got like 10 guys still in the wings. You got Hikuleo. You got a bunch of guys you can still bring in if you want to. But I think Jacob Fatu should kind of beat Solo and then maybe move on. And then we'll see what happens there. But definitely, I mean, I would bet my house on Jacob winning.
You all gas, no breaks with it.
Yeah.
All gas, no breaks. Hollywood Jane, what you got, sir?
I don't know if I've had enough of the bloodline story just yet. This was a good way to get Fatu headed on his run with the title. I don't know who I have in this match because I don't have Solo winning the title. There is that element of Mateo out there, and when does he get involved? Does he get involved? So maybe this match ends in a no DQ. Of sorts, and then we go into SummerSlam and we get, whether it be, Jacob versus Solo 2 or some sort of element where it's a tag team match or a 6-man tag of some sort with possibly the Usos getting involved. We'll see. And like TK said, there are more elements out there. So you just never know, especially when it comes to Solo and pulling a trick out of his bag. Yeah.
And I think we've kind of discussed this as far as Solo was supposed to be what Jacob is now, but Jacob was just better. And they just gave him the keys. That's what really happened, I think.
And Jacob doesn't even really need a faction or a group. He could just be Jacob Fatu. He could just be that guy and just run rampant through the roster as a solo star. Yeah,
I agree. But it's a matter of, I hope, TK, that Solo doesn't end up being the comedy stick. As much as he is funny and charismatic, like he does it charismatically, like his facial expressions, he's like this, and he does it.
Well, he's doing the during the Money in the Bank. He's like,
like he's good at it, but I just don't want him to become that comic relief because I think it's more than that. Does that make sense? I would
I agree.
To do that.
I love his entrance song, man. That song gets you pumped up,
Yeah. It's because we used to see him as the muscle. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So I'm going Jacob Fatu for sure. Jacob retains, but there's going to be something. Maybe there's another. Maybe Zilla debuts. I don't know. Like who knows? There's someone else out there that may possibly. We got the Queen of the Ring tournament finals. Asuka versus Jade Cargill. Jade's match on Monday Raw was terrible, guys. I'm sorry. Like there was a kick that she had, and it was just like really. I'm sitting here like, come on, we got to work better. It was terrible, and I want her to do so well, and it's like she's not there yet still. And I'm having trouble just watching her matches. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Yeah. Jay, what are your thoughts here with this Queen of the Ring tournament?
Yeah, I'm totally with you. And watching that match last night, I don't know if it was Jade or who she fight.
Roxanne.
Maybe it was a mix of the two of them not really knowing each other, and it felt weird. And again, maybe we got to put this more on Jade because she's more the seasoned veteran at this point between AEW and WWE. And if she's not getting it by now, maybe you're just never going to get it. But I also thought that match, as bad as it was because of the combination that was in the ring together. I think that kick that you're talking about, as bad as it looked from Jade's standpoint, Rachel also sold it horribly. So,
Roxanne, yeah.
Roxanne, I'm sorry. Yeah. So I think it was a mix of the two of them really not knowing each other in the ring and they're just being thrown into this match. Maybe they didn't have enough time to prep. And maybe that's on both of them. But as far as who the winner goes, I think you got to go Jade because we got to get that, Jade versus Naomi match. Is SummerSlam the big stage that Jade deserves at this point? No, but from a storytelling standpoint, this is the match we need in order to continue the storyline.
I'm gonna go. I think Asuka though, because part of me thought Asuka versus who's the women's champ now?
Io Sky.
Io Sky. Thank you. So two former Damage Control members in a SummerSlam match, and Io wasn't even on the show last night, and she has nothing to do right now. So I think that could potentially be. I mean, I could see the Jade angle, but I could also see Io Sky versus Asuka. Asuka coming back, getting the Queen of the Ring, and then going on to SummerSlam to face Io. That's what I got. Joey.
Yo, you know what's called? I ain't think about that. So you just said that.
No, she has nothing. She hasn't had anything since WrestleMania. No, she hasn't had anything since WrestleMania. Yeah.
She had a few tag matches after, but that's about it.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Asuka too. I didn't think about that. Former Damage Control members going against each other. I think at some point Asuka will turn heel.
GK.
Yeah, no, I've been struggling with this one. This one to me is the biggest question mark of the pay-per-view because, like you said, on one hand you have Asuka who could face Io, give them something to do. Asuka could totally do a SummerSlam championship match. It's been a while since we've seen her do a singles championship match, and I want to see it. But then you have Jade on the other hand, where you have Naomi being Miss Money in the Bank, and if Jade wins, at SummerSlam, takes the title off of Tiffany, Jade, you could have Naomi cash in that night, and then you don't have two people walking around with the briefcase all year, and then Jade can chase Naomi. So there really is, where they're going to go. But I think Asuka versus Io is just a better match than Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. I don't think Jade and Tiffany really has any heat to it. It's really about what Naomi's going to do with Jade. So Naomi could just cash in on Tiffany really any time, and then you could do Jade versus Naomi. So for this, I think they will have Asuka win and be Queen of the Ring and face off against Io, Queen Asuka versus Io. I think that could be a great match at SummerSlam. So that's the way I think they're going to go with it. But also in terms of the match itself, I think Asuka will have a much better match with Jade Cargill than Roxanne did. I think Asuka being with Jade will really elevate Jade because Asuka's just such a good worker. She's kind of like the woman Shawn Michaels. She's going to make you look good. So.
But to Jade's point, though, I guess if we see Jade win, that means Tiffany's going to drop the title between now and SummerSlam.
Yeah,
because it would make more sense to have Naomi versus Jade as opposed to Tiffany. So
that's possible as well. So there's a lot of different avenues they can go, which is why this is almost like a toss-up for me.
Now let me ask you a question: Is Tiffany scheduled for Saturday night's main event at all? As of now?
Saturday night's main event, no. The only match for Saturday night's main event is the
Gunther
versus Goldberg.
Goldberg.
Yeah. Goldberg. Let's Goldberg.
I'm glad they said that's a retirement match. I was afraid he was going to win and they were going to do some SummerSlam thing, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. Now, is Bianca still hurt? Because remember, she's still lingering around if she's healthy.
I don't know because we haven't seen her in a couple of weeks. The last time we saw was when they were home in Tennessee, and she cut the promo, and then we haven't seen her since. So I have no idea. I don't know. That's a good question.
That's something that could be put in triple threat SummerSlam.
Possibly. But again, that means Tiffany Stratton would have to drop the title. But then when she drops the title at SummerSlam, what is she doing for SummerSlam? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're going to move on from one storyline, you got another top star in Tiffany Stratton. What is she going to be doing? She should be on the card for SummerSlam.
Well, we got 2 nights of SummerSlam now. So there's
there's a lot to go around. Right? Now we move on to the King of the Ring tournament finals between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. This is Randy Orton's back-to-back King of the Ring finals matchup. So he's facing Cody in the finals. We've been kind of teasing this, like they teased this match. We thought it was going to happen when Cody was champ, but we're finally getting it without the title. This is long form of storytelling with legacy on the line, and as far as these guys being legacy and being good friends, and this is going to be a great match. I could call it possibly match of the night, but I don't know who wins. Like I said, the clear cut looks like Cody because Cody goes to get his redemption against Cena at SummerSlam. That's your main event. But then again, now you're putting Orton in a position where he loses back-to-back King of the Rings in consecutive years. I mean, is that what your veteran is there to do is the job 2 years in a row? Joey, let me start with you.
Yeah, because I think now he's in a stage of his career where he don't really got to win the title. He's just there putting people over. So I think Cody goes over because eventually Seth Rollins is going to cash in on that match.
He's going to cash in on which match? The Cena
and Cody. I think he cashes in on that match.
Cena Cody at SummerSlam.
Yes, I think he cashes in on that match. Think about it. Everything Seth says, what he does, and what he represents. Cena wants to tear down everything. Seth wants to save everything. In his mind, that's what he's saying to everybody.
Let me think about that. I don't have anything to say to that.
You have the whole dynamic where, he has that. They had the two face-offs. He had the two face-offs with Cody.
Yeah.
And he's looking at him like, I helped you win the title. And it's like, he's like, now he sees him as he's against him.
But then to me, it's like Cody already lost that Mania, so now he's gonna win and then job again. Like now, it's like,
well, then because you got to take Cena out the title picture,
right?
You got to have something there. So it would be Cody and Seth.
Hold that thought, Jay. You co-sign or no?
I'm going Cody to win just because I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about SummerSlam. I'm thinking about 2 nights at MetLife. Cena versus Cody just makes more sense. It's the rematch from your actual WrestleMania. While this is WrestleMania Junior, as we jokingly call it.
Yeah.
Orton is not going to be able to put butts in seats when it comes to a main event. Not at this point in his career. So it just makes sense that Cody goes over in this match.
Okay, TK.
Yeah, I mean, we're in full agreement. I think Cody definitely wins King of the Ring finals. Orton, he's had an awesome career, but this is his position now. He should be there to get to the finals and elevate the guy. It's kind of funny thinking back to 2010 Legacy. Now you got Cody and Randy fighting and Ted watching from jail. I never would have guessed it, but. but here we go. So as for SummerSlam, I don't know what happens with SummerSlam, but I definitely think Seth, whenever he cashes in, he's going to carry that title to Mania to fight Punk. I think they're going to circle back and finally do that match. But Cody, even if he does win and gets cashed in right away, I don't think it hurts him. He just had a year-long reign. If he wins and gets cashed in on, that's just another one. So at the end of his career, when he's a 7-time, 8-time, whatever he is, WWE champion, that's just one of his reigns. Who cares that it was 20 minutes?
Well, that being said, TK, I kind of transitioned to the main event, which is the undisputed WWE Championship, Punk versus Cena. And there's been conflicting things about, do you keep the belt on Cena to walk out with it, when he leaves, right? Like this has been the lingering question as far as on his tour. Like, you already notched off, Orton, and is he just crossing off the opponents as he gets his goal to leave with the chip? TK, I'll start with you again. Who wins this match, and how are we booking this here?
I think Cena wins, and he wins the same way he's been winning. I think it's like a low blow type deal. It's such a John Cena move. He probably thinks it's funny kicking people in the nuts to win. If I'm going to go heel, that's how I'm going to do it. So I don't see. I mean, Cody, I can see beating him at SummerSlam, but I definitely don't see him dropping it any earlier than that. So I think he does just actually beat CM Punk, and I think he might even just blow him a kiss and leave. Because he's been kind of rehashing a lot of that 2011. Feud. So that's kind of what I think happens there. Hopefully CM Punk doesn't have to lay out for 10 minutes while he gives another promo on a table. We'll see how it goes though.
Jay,
how awkward was that he had to be there for 10 minutes?
Because even on Punk's promo, if you watch back from 2011, Cena, he took the table shot, but then he kind of got up and sat back and watched. Punk was I think he fell asleep, man. He was just comfortable.
I don't think this is the pay-per-view for Cena to lose the title. I think when Cena drops the title, it's going to be a major pay-per-view. It's going to be, either SummerSlam or Survivor Series. I think Cena somehow retains. I'm struggling to think of how he does it. Whether he just walks out and says a big F you to everyone because he's about to lose, or someone gets involved. Maybe it's Seth again, just to prolong that feud forever and ever. I do think we're going to see Seth at some point of this pay-per-view. So we'll see. I'm going to go Cena retains just in a dirty way, like TK said, but I'm thinking, if it's not Seth, then it's just like I'm about to lose. I'm just walking out. I'm going to leave and you can count me out. And that'll be that, because you do have to keep, CM looking strong. He can't just lose this match and then we expect him to win the title, a month or two from now. You got to keep CM looking strong somehow. So, it can't be a clean win for Cena. And if you have Cena lose, it can't be, with him losing the title. It's got to be, either a DQ or, just a clean walkout. F you to Saudi, F you to everyone else. I'm out of here.
Yeah, and you also have to worry about how much time they're going to have because, I mean, you watched Cena after that match with R-Truth, he was getting that promo. He was huffing and puffing like me on the Stairmaster, man. He was like, so it's going to be like 100 degrees there. It's hot. You saw what happened with Goldberg and The Undertaker, two older guys. They couldn't handle the heat. So I don't know how long this match is going to go either. So this might be, 5-10 minute tops match. So I think there's definitely, it's not going to be a half an hour classic like Money in the Bank where they're going back and forth. Something's going to happen.
TK, great points over there. Joey, what do you think?
I think the same thing. I think Cena wins. He's going to win dirty. Either, like Jay said, you got to keep CM Punk strong. I think it goes either, like I said, you're going to either have him win dirty or have Seth or somebody from like Braun Breaker, one of those guys, interfere.
Yeah, because in order to keep that, though, this leads you into SummerSlam. And so I guess this is early thinking. That means what's Punk's program for SummerSlam? Because a lot of these things, we kind of just predicted the main event, like Cody versus Cena, right? Too, right?
Yeah.
So then that leaves you to question where does everybody else fit in the card? And like we said, now we have 2 nights. It's not just one. So there has to be enough storylines between now after this one to build us to SummerSlam. Because you think about it, there's only one other thing in the middle, which is Saturday night's main event, which is really nothing. Now we're building to SummerSlam at this point.
Yeah, I think this is a good chance for CM to start knocking off the members of Seth's crew, right? So you could have him versus either Braun or what's his name?
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed.
Yeah, so you could have him versus either one of those men at SummerSlam. Then Survivor Series, whether it be they're not doing War Games this year apparently, right? That's apparently
not to my knowledge. No, it didn't say War Games. No,
you could have CM versus either one of the other two, then and then you Royal Rumble, he wins it. Now we're talking about CM versus Seth at WrestleMania because I'm in agreement that Seth does need, and to me this is Seth's best iteration of his characters.
Yeah,
he does need a prolonged title run, and going into Mania, him versus Punk, then I think would set the world on fire.
I think we all agree Seth's better as a heel. He's
without question. Again, I just need this group to have a name. I'm tired of seeing this.
It should be Revolution.
Like what are they? The Men in Black? I don't know.
I think Revolution works because it's like Evolution, but then it's Seth Rollins, so you put that R in front of it.
Oh, TK,
that's dope.
Call TK. Go on Careers Indeed, look up writer.com and get that in there.
Hey, Triple H, you got my number. Give me a call.
Yeah, listen, that's a great idea. But again, it needs a name. Like, I don't know what other faction has just been there that hasn't had a name to it. It's kind of like they need something to put that emphasis on who they are if they're going to continue building them. So I think that's something that needs to be there. But that's the show. And then we head along to Saturday night's main event. And we got Women's Evolution, too. The 2 summer shows before we get to SummerSlam. So, TK, you're heading to SummerSlam, right?
I'm going. I'll be there.
Yeah.
Second and third, both nights.
Nice.
Any of you guys going or no? You guys don't know yet or no? Not yet?
Listen, my daughter, this last 3 weeks been crazy. From her prom to her birthday graduation, I'm broke. All right, I can't do it.
And then college, bro. Like you,
Yeah, college is next.
Yeah. Like, share, comment, subscribe to all Hitless content. Take care, everyone.